So when we have these linear equations, the goal is to solve the linear equation. Find the solutions or the roots that make the equation true. Now I'm going to give you a simple one over here. Let's say you have 3x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, that's in that form that we talked about, and you wanted to solve it. Well, we're allowed to do certain things. You can add or subtract something from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. That's going to give me 3x equals negative 15. This is called an equivalent equation. So we started out with this equation. Now we have this equation, but they're equivalent to each other, so we're okay. We're also allowed to multiply or divide by any number as long as it's not 0 on both sides. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. You've probably seen work like this in the past, but maybe it's been a while. And we get x equals negative 5. We say x equals negative 5, that negative 5 is a solution or a root to the equation. And you can just box it this way. I'm not sure on this textbook. Different textbooks have different ways of writing it, but that's fine for me. If you want to put it in set notation, that's the other common way we see it. We say the solution set is negative 5. Okay. Now, we're going to give you the big picture of steps to solving a linear equation. First of all, if you have an equation, there are two sides to the equation. Simplify each side. Of the equation. Step 2, you have to get the variable on one side. Step 3, you're going to get variable term alone. And that's going to be an adding or subtracting thing. By the way, this is also an add or subtract thing. And then last, you're going to multiply or divide. To get x equals, some number over here. Okay? So that's kind of, you can look at these steps in the book. They're written a little bit differently, but those are the ideas. So let me give you just kind of a quick little example here. Let's say you have 2x plus 7 minus 10 equals 3x plus 5. Okay, something like that. I'm just making up numbers. Okay, so when we talk about step 1, simplify each side. Well, on the left, I could combine the 7 and the minus 10. So I'm going to write 2x minus 3 equals 3x plus 5. So no matter what the simplifying is, you're going to have it down to, at most, 2 terms on the left and 2 terms on the right. Step 2 says to get x on one side, to get the variable term on one side. I am a right to left person, so I always take the variable term that's on the right and move it over to the left. I do that in this case by subtracting 3x. So, because I have to have the x terms together so I can solve for x. Okay, so that's going to cancel those terms out there. On the right-hand side, I just have 5 now. And on the left-hand side, I combine these. Those are like terms. Negative 1x. If you want to put the 1, you can. We don't usually, but you can. And so now I have this situation. An x term, constant, equals another constant. Okay, so step 3. Now I want to get the variable term, this little guy, alone. So I'm going to add 3. I got to get rid of that minus 3. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Now I have negative 1x. These cancel out. 5 plus 3 is 8. So I'm almost done. I just need to get rid of that negative 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. Oftentimes it's a division step, not always. Sometimes it's a multiplying step. But those cancel, and so I have x equals, and then I'm going to simplify over here. That's negative 8. And there's my solution. I can check the answer. Really, step 5, check. You should always check them. I don't always check them, but if you want to check it, you go back to the original, and you plug in the value that you got, which was -8. You're plugging that in for x. So this would be the check that I'm doing right here. I take the original equation and I put in the value that I got for x. Now, why do I go to the original equation? Well, what if I made a mistake or something down the line? So I want to go back to I'm trying to check it, so I want to go back to the beginning. That gives me a -16, because 2 times -8. I have to follow the order of operations. On the right-hand side, I get a -24 plus 5. Okay, so what do I get here? I think I get -19, right? That's -3 and a -16. And what do I get on the other side? Oh, -24 plus 5, that's going to be -19. That means the equation, this statement is true. I shouldn't have put a box around it. It's not the answer. So it checks. I got a true statement. And so, yes. Yay. Big smiley face. This one works. Okay, we did it right. All right. We'll show you some examples in the next couple videos.